Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we were looking at the Jivan Mukta Lakshana, and that started here. We're at 216. Jivan Mukta Lakshana Muchyate Atha. So who is a Jivan Mukta? That he defines in the beginning itself. For whom the Akhandakara Vritti or Akhandakara Jnanam has taken place, and the Ajnana is destroyed. Ajnana Bhadana Dwara. Swaswarupa Akhanda Brahma Jnanena. Due to the Jnana, here Jnana is the Vritti Jnana. Akhanda Akara Vritti or Akhanda Brahma Jnanam means what? Any knowledge which reveals the Swarupa of yourself is called Akhanda, because one's own nature is a whole. It is a partless, undivided whole. That's how we can understand oneself. In fact, that understanding is already there. Even though everyone has an identity with reference to the body, mind, sense complex, and these are all having different parts, correct? Body has many parts. Even the Indriyas, Prana, mind also, they are all looked upon differently. Mind we look upon in 4 different ways, correct? Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chittam. Then there are Pancha Prana are there, Pancha Jnanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, like this. Different parts are there, whether it is Thula Sharira or Sukshma Sharira. But even though you have all these parts and at different times you have the self-identity on all these things, but even if one part is gone, think about this. Somebody loses a leg. Does he become 25% less of a person? His self-identity is not reduced by 25% or anything, correct? That's the beauty. See, that's what people don't recognize. I is always a partless whole. That is how we recognize ourselves. But that recognition is not appreciated properly. It's not analyzed. So that's what here one has to understand. The I sense is always a partless whole. It is akhanda. And that alone is the reality. That's what one has to understand. In fact, one can never be what I know. Whatever I know is not I. That is the simplest teaching of Vedanta. That is what one has to internalize always. The one who has internalized this and understands that I, which is the partless whole, which is the limitless conscious being, is the only reality. Everything which is a knowledge, object of knowledge, is nothing but mithya. It is all mithya only. Drishyatvat mithya, we say. So whatever is seen is mithya. The seer's nature alone is satyam. And this is the understanding. For that person, all the karma also is gone, because karma is only with reference to the body, mind, sense complex. Once you don't have identity with the body, mind, sense complex, even if the body, mind, sense complex is functioning due to prarabdha, due to the karma which has already started this particular life, the jnani doesn't have any identity with that. So for the jnani, all karma is no more there, because there is no self-identity. with reference to the body, mind, sense complex. That is the important thing. For such a person, all ajnanam is gone, all doubts are gone, correct, and all karma also is gone. And even though that person is functioning, that person also has to function in a body, because we cannot deny the self, the one's own anubhava, we say, correct? Swanubhava of the jnani as a jnani. But the swanubhava of a jnani as a jnani is somewhat of a, it may look contradictory, because the jnani is the one who knows he or she is not even a jnani, correct? The status of being a knower also is gone, because Shuddha Chaitanyam is not a knower. Shuddha Chaitanyam transcends the subject-object divide itself. But one who knows this is the jnani, and such a person alone can teach. So for the Guru Shishya Vyavahara, the parampara to continue, correct? Guru Shishya Vyavahara has to happen, Guru Shishya Parampara has to continue, and Jivan Mukta is necessary. So even while you are living, you are Mukta, you are free from all bondages, but you don't have any identity with the body, mind, sense complex. And whatever the body, mind, sense complex is undergoing is all due to prarabdha, which has already started. All the whatever samskara, vasana is already there. That will continue. And for the jnani, it is all like Indrajalavat only. It is all like some magic. Correct? The magic show, even if you see, you know that it's not true. There is no truth in any of this. That is the beauty. So even different Shruti quotations are given here. Sachakshuhu, achakshuhu iva, sakarnaha, akarnaha iva, like this. Even though that person has an eye, he is not having any eye, because he is the eye of the eye. He is the ear of the ear. Like that. That is the teaching, correct? This kind of a teaching is there in Brihadaranyaka. In Kenopanishad also it is there. So the one, even while perceiving duality, knows that aham advayaha, correct? Aham nirvikalpaha. Atma is nirvikalpa. It is advaya, like even in sleep, correct? So the one who knows this, one who sees this reality all the time, such a person, even while doing, is not a karta. Karmani akarma yaf pashyet. Like this, Bhagavan also talks about. So same thing is said in Upadesha Sahasri also by Bhagavan Bhashyakara. So such a person is a jnani. And whatever was there before the jnana taking place, those things will continue, and it's going to be only Shubha Vasana, is what this author is saying. Or there may be both Shubha and Ashubha Vasana, but the jnani is an Udasina. Udasina means is nonchalant. Whatever is happening is happening. Cannot make any difference to the jnani. And this was also said by the Naishkarmya Siddhi. Recently we saw this in Brihadaranyaka Bhashya also. So there in the Yajnavalkya Samvada between Yajnavalkya and so many others in the 3rd chapter, then one question is there. What about the jnani? How does he live? Means, however he lives, he is a jnani. Like this, the answer is given by Yajnavalkya. But that does not give the license to the jnani to do all kinds of akrama. Okay. That's why Sureshwara also says here, Yateshta Acharanam is not the idea there. It is only a praise, saying that jnani transcends right, wrong, dharma, adharma, everything. Papa, punya. So it is said like that. But that doesn't mean that a jnani will be doing something adharma. A jnani is manipulating some people for one's own some small gain and all that, correct? For ego satisfaction, things like this. That cannot happen, because already being a sadhaka only, one is cultivating all this amanitwadi, correct? Amanitvam, adambitvam and all. In fact, value of values, we have seen already. Even I have conducted classes on value of values, the 20 values which are there in the 13th chapter, starting with amanitvam, and also the characteristics of a jnani is there in the 12th chapter also. The Bhakti Yoga chapter, if you take the last 8 verses, starting from 13th onwards, Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam, Maitrah Karuna Evacha, like this it goes. So that also, if you take, the jnani is having all these qualities. Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam means what? One who does not have any dvesha, dislike or hatred towards any being. Okay. Maitraha, he is a friend of all. Karuna means compassion. So compassion is natural. Once you don't have any axe to grind of your own, then how else can you be? Correct? You can be compassionate to everyone. Or even if you have to, Bhagavan also is looked upon as a punisher and all that. But that is not due to any hatred. Understand that. Sometimes you have to take tough action to handle certain people. Otherwise, so many others also will get hurt and all that. Correct? So you have to look into that. Justice means some people have to be punished. That is also part of justice. So justice and compassion go together. It's not that if somebody is being just, that person is not compassionate. In fact, being just is also an expression of compassion. That is a very important thing we have to understand. Because even Krishna had to take some tough action against certain people. Correct? We see that. Or Rama had to fight with Ravana. All these things are there. But doesn't mean that Rama or Krishna had dvesha. Because Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam, Bhagavan says. So like this, these things are all natural for the jnani, no? Because as a sadhaka, you have cultivated all those values, the attitudes. So whatever for the sadhaka, it is all a sadhya, correct? That which has to be attained, cultivated. And then when the jnanam has taken place, means all these sadhanas also, they have reached the fruition, correct? They have attained their goal. Therefore, these things are there naturally. So jnani is going to continue with that. Why should jnani stop being whatever? Once you have jnana, doesn't mean that you have become a totally different person from what you were already, correct? All those things will continue. There is no problem. And with reference to personal choices, preferences also, those things also will continue. Because Bhagavan also says, even in the 4th chapter, I think it is there. Tadrisham cheshtate swasyaha prakriter jnanavan. So jnanavan, for jnanavan also, the prakriti is there, means one's own nature. If you are born in a certain place, your food habits, certain preferences are all defined by that, and that is also going to continue. So this jnani, whatever attitudes and values the jnani acquired as a sadhaka, those will continue. So the dharma charanam should be spontaneous. That is the idea. So that's what is said here. In fact, we saw up to 223, I think, before. So here, tadanim amanitvadini jnana sadhanani adveshtattvadayaha sadgunascha alankaravad anuvartante. So Amanitvadi, I already told you, correct? 13th chapter. Amanitvam adambitvam ahimsa kshanti rarjavam acharyopasanam shaucham sthairyamatma vinigraha indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankara evacha. Like this, the 20 values are there. You can go and refer. Similarly, I told you from the 12th chapter, Adveshta, Sarva Bhutanam, Maitrah, Karuna evacha. Like that, there are 8 verses are there. This is the 13th verse, I think. So starting from 12, 13, 8 verses are there. Again, I think 13:7, I think this Amanitvam Adambitvam is. So these, if you go and see the values, the attitude, the characteristics of a jnani, so those things, whatever the characteristics of a jnani, are all to be attained by the sadhaka. So for the sadhaka, they are all sadhya. Whatever is siddha for the jnani is sadhya for a sadhaka, and sadhaka has to take effort. That is what sadhana is all about. Cultivating these attitudes, values, certain disposition of your mind. So the sadhaka has also attained that. When sadhaka becomes a jnani, whatever he has attained, all those things, alankaravat anuvartante, it is all like a bhushana. It's all a glory only. It is all like an alankara, decoration. They will all continue. Why should it go away? They continue alankaravat. The amanitvadi values, adveshta, etc., all the characteristics of a jnani, all of them, the sadgunas, he says. The adveshta deyaha he is calling as sadgunaha, means the good qualities, the characteristics of a jnani. And jnana sadhanas. Etad jnanamiti proktam, like that Bhagavan says about the amanitvadi. There the jnanam is the karana vyutpatti, not karma. Karma vyutpatti, it is not. Jnanam there is jnayate anena iti jnanam. So by cultivating all these values, only you gain knowledge. That's why that is also called jnanam or jnana sadhanani here. The author is saying. So all those things will continue. And therefore the yateshta acharanam cannot be there. Understand that. That is the important thing. And again that is said in Naishkarmya Siddhi, taduktam utpanna atma avabodhasya hi adveshta tvadayaha gunaha. So Sureshwara also is mentioning the same thing for the one for whom the Atma Bodha has arisen. Correct? Utpanna Atma Avabodhasya. He, because what? Adveshtatvadayaha gunaha. This Adveshtatvadayaha, Adveshta, Sarva Bhutanam, etc. I said. Those gunas, qualities or characteristics. How is it for the jnani means? Ayatnataha bhavanti. So for the sadhaka, those qualities you have to attain. You have to attain and retain also. Attain, sometimes everybody attains all these qualities in certain situations, but to retain, only effort is required. But sadhaka, for sadhaka, there is yatna involved. That's why it is called yati also. Yati, yatna shilaha. A sadhaka or a jnani also is called yati because the one who has made effort and succeeded. And sadhakas are also called yatis, yatna shilaha, because the yatna you have to put in effort. It's all lot of effort in fact. But all those efforts have attained their goal. Therefore, now for the jnani, all these things, these gunas are all ayatnataha bhavanti. They are there without any effort. No need to put any special effort anymore. Ayatnataha bhavanti asya natu sadhana rupinaha, not in the form of something which has to be attained. Sadhana are not in the like a means for attaining knowledge, but knowledge has already come. So these things are all there from previous effort, whatever the jnani must have done. This is said in the Naishkarmya Siddhi 469. So finally, now this author is summarizing, you can say. He says, Kim Bahunayam. So what is the point in elaborating more? Okay, let me summarize. Let me say briefly. What is that? Deha yatra matrartham icha anicha parecha prapitani sukha dukkha lakshanani arabdha phalani. Okay, anubhavan. So the jnani is experiencing anubhavan. What? Deha yatra matrartham. So whatever is required for the body to continue, correct? Just because you have become a jnani, you don't have to commit suicide or your body is not going to vanish. The body started with some prarabdha karma, so that there is a deha yatra is there. Because of that, it is continuing. It is like a arrow which has already left the bow. It's continuing. And for that, the keep up of the body, whatever activities is to be done, the jnani is doing that. And again, the whatever sukha dukkha, once you have a body mind sense complex, you cannot avoid sukha dukkha. Understand that there are physical pains will be there even for a jnani, because body is getting old. That's not going to stop. Old age will come for everybody, and physically some pain will be there. Emotionally also, different people are behaving in different manners, and it's going to, your interaction with the world brings its own challenges always. So there is sukha dukkha, but none of it is really going to give a lasting emotional pain or anything like that. That the jnani will be free, because guna guneshu arthante. That's how the whole thing is seen. All these things are all gunas are playing amongst themselves, and I don't have any identity with that. But the sukha dukkha lakshana will be there. They are all characterized. The jnani's activities, when you look at it, they are all on what basis these activities are there, means it can be, here he says, ichha can be one's own, jnani's own ichha also is possible, because as I told you, one's own nature will be there. So there will be personal preferences, etc. for the jnani also. So swecha is there. Or anicca, even without your desire, so many things are happening. In fact, most things are happening in your life without your permission or without your desire. So one needs to be able to face all those things nonchalantly. Anicca or parecha also we say. Somebody else's desire. Based on that also, jnani is doing certain things. In fact, most jnanis are doing a lot of things only due to others' desire, just to bless them or help people who have certain problems, correct? As a jnani, I don't see any problem in anything. In fact, the whole creation is as it is perfect. But even though I don't see any problem, people come to me with so many problems. So I have to recognize that, go along with them till the time they understand the teaching and see that there is no real problem anyway, correct? So that is a special compassion, in fact. Even though you don't see any problem, you go along with the person as though there are problems, trying to help them. And finally, the only help we can give is what? Knowledge. Knowledge alone is the final solution for everything. That alone can release you from all bondage. So either due to your own ichha or without any ichha of anybody, certain things are happening. Earthquake happens. It is not anybody's ichha, correct? Cyclone happens. Things like that are also there. So there are Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika things are also there. Adhyatma is your Icha, you can say. And Adi Bhautika can be Parecha, Adi Daivika are all Anicca. So many things are happening, it happens, and due to that Sukha Dukha, etc. is there. And they are all due to Arabdha Phala, they are all due to the Prarabdha which has already started. So one experiences all that Anubhavan, experiencing that. And also what? Antak Karana Abhasadinam Avabhasakaha San. Okay, here you have to break this Sandhi as San. Tad Avasane Pratyag Ananda Parabrahmani Prane Line. Okay, this part we'll see now. What is this? Anthakarana Abhasadinam Avabhasakaha San. So what is the identity of the Jnani? Even when all these things are happening, the identity is that I am the one who is lighting up all this body, mind, sense complex, correct? The body, mind, sense complex is functioning as it is functioning only in my presence. And I, as the conscious being, limitless conscious being, has no connection. In fact, aham asangaha. But in my presence, everything is happening. I am the one who is lighting up everything. And these things are all functioning because I am the one who gives existence to all these things. It's all my existence. Alone is reflecting in all these other objects. So that is how the Jnani is looking at it. So being the one who lightens or enlightens, shines his own light onto all these things. Avabhasaka, being Avabhasaka, the one who lights up everything, including one's own body, mind, sense complex. Even the entire world also we have to include in this. Both the subject and object are nothing but me. It is all my existence, my consciousness alone is lighting up everything, being that illuminer, the one who illuminates everything. And then what? Tad avasane, once this antakaranadi, body, mind, sense complex, come to an end. It will come to an end because it started due to some prarabdha. Once the prarabdha is gone, it's going to come to an end. And then when it ends, what happens? Means what? I still remain the same body, same conscious being, correct? There is no death for consciousness. Consciousness was never born. It can never die. So once your identity is shifted from body, mind, sense complex, the death is only for the body. It's not for I, the conscious being. The body can be taken by others, burnt, whatever, or it is for sannyasis and all, they just they bury it, correct, and put a linga on top. So we have all the adhishtanas in different places in India, you can see. Or in Rishikesh and all, sometimes what they do, they tie big stones and put it into the Ganga itself. They call it Jala Samadhi. So there are sometimes Jala Samadhi is done. Nowadays, government is not encouraging Jala Samadhi because they think that Ganga will be polluted and all that. But I think still people do that. Jala Samadhi is done. Otherwise, if there is some land and all that, people create a Samadhi Sthala, an Adhishtana, where people can again go and worship, correct? So that is also possible. So that is only for the body. Okay, what happens to the Jnani means what? Pratyag Ananda Parabrahmani Prane Line. So once this prana is resolved, where does that prana go? For an Ajnani, the Sukshma Sharira is like a leech. In fact, the leech analogy is used in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. The leech, I don't know whether all of you have seen the leech. It is a very funny creature. It goes, it is like a jumping. It can, the way it moves is what? It's like a spring kind of a thing. It will hold on to one grass and then take the other side and put it onto the other one. Like that it goes. Sometimes if it gets onto you, it can suck your blood and you won't even know that, because it puts a nice anesthetic on you, then sucks your blood and it will become quite big then. Entire blood it will take in and then fall. Once it falls off, blood will still keep flowing out of you, because it has not only put an anesthetic there, it puts some blood thinners also. So blood will the clotting also doesn't happen very easily. You only know that the bleach has sucked your blood after the blood starts flowing down your leg or something. Okay, so leeches are very funny creatures. So, but the leech, how it moves, correct? One blade of grass to another, etc. Like that, even the Sukshma Sharira, it goes from one body to another. In fact, all the karma one does, correct, in our tradition, after somebody passes away, they are supposed to take a preta sharira. That is like an in-between sharira. So all the karma we do also from the 3rd day onwards, or sometimes 5th day onwards, up to the 12th day, we actually do all the karma to give nourishment to that preta sharira. And that's what you do. In fact, you cook, but you cook without any salt and then offer it. In fact, you do avahana of that jiva on a stone, and then you make all the offerings, but you cook without any salt, because you only want to give nourishment, but it should not stay back. They don't make nice tasty stuff, but just something. So that is offered every day, and then you do tarpana and all that. And in fact, the 12th day you say tata, bye bye, like that. The month, the Sanskrit, if you see, it's all very simple Sanskrit. If you know Sanskrit, you can understand all this apara karma also. So you then finally send the preta sharira, the jiva with the preta sharira, and that is how the travel happens. And on the way also, for the jiva to have certain things, you give dana here. Whatever dana you give, it is supposed to go along with the jiva. Like this, then whatever, according to the papa or punya, from the preta sharira, again you take some other sharira. Whether you go to Swarga or Naraka, what kind of marga you take, all these things are all discussed in detail, even in Bhagavad Gita. So the Archiradi marga, etc. is there. 8th chapter, if you go and read Bhagavad Gita, these things are discussed. But mostly what Bhagavan says is what whatever finally you are thinking about a lot, based on that only the next Janma will be there, he says. So that is why throughout your life also you should be Bhagavan Nama and all, one has to repeat. So that samskara, once everything, all the organs are all failing, also if your samskaras are not strong, then the final thought can go anywhere. And then your next Janma will be based on that, like that Bhagavan says. So that is why it's important that what kind of samskara one develops throughout the life also is important. Anyway, this is all for Ajnani. But for a Jnani, there is no Sukshma Sharira or anything. Jnani doesn't have any identity with the Sukshma Sharira already. So that prana resolves back into the Panchabhutas itself. There is no more new body to take up or anything. So it's basically, it resolves into Brahman only. So that's what he says here. Pratyeg Ananda Parabrahmani Prane Line. The prana resolves into the Pratyagatma itself, one's own, which is Brahman, Pratyeg, and which is Ananda Swarupa also. So the prana, Sukshma Sharira, Sthula Sharira anyway goes back to all the Panchabhutas. Sukshma Sharira also goes into the Sukshma Panchabhutas, and so everything resolves into their own source. Finally, it is all Brahman alone. So it resolves into Parabrahman. And then what? Satya Jnana Tat Karya Samskaranam Api Vinasha. So this Satya Jnana, this Brahman, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, we say, correct? And its Karya, all the samskaras, etc., are all nothing but the Karya, Brahma Karya, because Brahman alone is the Jagat Karanam, it is the Karana for everything. So the samskaras which actually have created all this body, mind, sense complex, etc., all of them are destroyed, vinashat. So for the jnani, there is no more any samskara, any karma, any body also. So this, all the Brahma Karya are all, they resolve back into the Karyam Brahma itself, we have to say. They all go back to Virat, Hiranyagarbha, etc., even if you look at it as a totality. So here Vinashat means they just resolve back into their Karana. And therefore what? Parama Kaivalyam. So for the Jnani, the Videha Mukti also is Parama Kaivalyam, we say. Means Kaivalyam means oneness. Kevalasya Bhava. Kevala means being only, you alone are there. There is nothing else. There is no second thing. That is the Parama Kaivalya. Advayam Brahma. And it is also Ananda Ekarasam. So because it is the source of all happiness. It is Ananda Ekarasam. It is Ananda Swarupa. And Akhila Bheda Pratibhasa Rahitam, and in which there is no Bheda, it's all Akhanda. That's what I told you. Partless whole, that alone is there. The partless, non-dual whole Ananda Swarupa, which is of the nature of only Ananda, where there is no division. All the divisions have gone, because divisions are all only appearances. There are no more appearances of all this Bheda. So all that also, it is not there. Akhila Bheda Pratibhasa Rahitam Akhanda Brahma Avatishthate. So this person is there only as this Akhandam Brahma, this partless whole. This Brahman alone is there. There is no more any Sukshma Sharira or anything, correct? Sula Sukshma Sharira, they all resolve back into this Brahman alone. So this is what the Videha Mukti also is talked about here. Both Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti, it is talked about here, and the same thing he is giving Shruti quotations for all these things. Natasya pranaha utkramanti. So the prana for this jnani, the jnani's prana do not rise up and then again go to some loka or somewhere and take up another body, etc. It just resolves there itself into its own karana. It is there. Similarly, you can see here Atraiva Samavaniyante. So this we have already seen in Brihadaranyaka class. So there only the jnani's Sukshma Sharira, it resolves there itself. Then and there. It doesn't travel anywhere. That is the idea. It doesn't go anywhere. And then Kathopanishad also says, Vimuktascha Vimuchyate. So being the one who is already free from any bondage is the Jivan Mukta. And once the body falls, then you are also totally free anyway now. You are Videha Mukta also. So Vimuktascha Vimuchyate. This talks about again both the Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti. So these Shrutis are all there. So with this whole text is completed. I hope all of you have got a certain introduction. In fact, this is a very introductory text because the author has introduced to us all the terminologies, the different prakriyas, and the teaching itself in a very systematic manner, also giving quotations wherever relevant to support whatever he said. So this is a very useful text, and we are completing it here today. So iti Sadananda Yogindra Virachitaha. So this was authored by Sadananda Yogindra. Vedanta Sara nama granthaha samaptaha. So this grantha, which is called Vedanta Sara, so it is the essence of Vedanta really. So that has been presented very well in this particular text, and that is now completed. So I don't know whether any questions or anything is there. Otherwise we can close this. Okay, so I don't think any questions are there. If at all is there, we can continue anyway. So we'll close the class here. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.